Hello everybody in celebration of nature and welcome to this week's Monday Moment. I just got back from a weekend in Kerrville, Texas where I got to judge the Paint Kerrville Outdoor Painter Society show. Had a great time. Got to meet a lot of new people that I've not met before. Got to catch up with some old friends of mine I haven't seen in over a year because of COVID. So all in all, it was a great event, and just to be able to see people out painting outdoors, enjoying the weather, creating some just fabulous artwork. It was a really neat, experience, and I enjoyed myself, and I hope everybody did too. I say all that because as a judge, I was asked later. People would come up during the reception and say, "Would you mind come over and critiquing my work?" And I would go and look at their work and give my observations. And the overriding thought that I got from that coming back, I thought about this a lot as I drove back home. 5 hours, got plenty of time to think. So, was this. The weakness in most of the paintings that I saw, even the ones who won awards, I saw the same weakness, was the lack of observation. The lack of really studying a scene and deciding what's important and what's not important. Just because it's out there in front of you does not mean you have to put it into your painting. It's real important to understand that you're not there to duplicate what's in front of you any more than you do these exercises. I don't expect anybody to duplicate the photograph because you've watched me. I don't duplicate the photograph. I move things around based on what I think is best for the design and best on how I think objects relate to each other. So I thought real quick, before we get too long-winded here, to show you an exercise that I teach in my workshops. A little more difficult to do here online, but I'm going to give it a shot. Okay, so let's assume that this is your scene, or this is your photograph. Try this, with one of the lessons, one of the easy ones, not one that's complex like this, but one of the easy ones. Give yourself 5 minutes just to stare at it. And as you're staring at it, think about the major objects, what you're going to do with them, how you're going to put them on your painting. Once you do that, 5 minutes, turn it around, go to your canvas, give yourself 15 minutes to paint it. So a 20-minute process. 5 minutes to observe, 15 minutes to paint. I guarantee you the very first time you do it, the very first time you turn this around, you think you've been observing it, but when you turn this around and you're not looking at it and now you want to paint it, you'll realize how little information you absorbed, how little you really grabbed on that scene. And as you stand and you look at your blank canvas, you got to think, what did I just look at for 5 minutes? So then give yourself, after 15 minutes, turn it around, give yourself 5 minutes, then go add to your painting. Do it 3 times in an hour. 1 hour. Take 1 hour to do this lesson. And you will learn so much about observing, looking at a scene, saying what's important. What are the important objects? What are the important relationships? How do I create that depth? Once you do it with one, do it with another. Do it with another. Just take an hour. It's a 1 hour exercise. And you train yourself so well, because when you go outside and you've traveled, say like I did this last weekend, 5 hours to a location, you say, "Oh, I'm going to paint this." If you don't have that ability to observe it and put it down, it's a wasted trip. The other thing that really kind of got me, and I almost had to ask every single artist the same thing: why did you put that object in your art painting? Well, it was there. Well, but why? What does it bring to your painting? What does it say? So this conversation that you have to have with yourself, your painting, and your audience. You want your audience to have a conversation with your painting, because you're not going to be there most of the time. You want them to observe, you want them to come into your painting, you want them to understand the story you're trying to tell. So there's more to painting a picture than just copying something, replicating something that's in front of you, whether it be a photograph or a scene or a still life or a portrait. There's more to it. Bring yourself to it. Learn what it is to really bring yourself out. And I can tell you that when I do these lessons, I get about halfway through and I don't even look at this anymore. I really don't look at this anymore. It's all about this, the painting. That's what this is all about. That's where we're going. All right. Whew. Sorry. So that was my observation. This coming week, this last week was Independent Study Week, so I hope that everybody had a good week off and either took that time to do a painting. I know that some of you were in the show this last weekend. If you did something, post it. Let's look at it. Let's talk about it. This coming week, we're going to get back into our study of the 7 things that you can do to create depth in your painting. And so we've done 2. We're on to number 3. All right? You guys have a great week. See you next week.